Hello, it's Takashi here. This video is a part of the recently released Gimai Seikatsu Volume 12 of the light novel. This is an impression review video. Finally, the study retreat camp chapter is here, so the long-awaited new chapter is here as well. I have created some remarks for this video, so do watch it until the end. And with that, let's get it started. As always, this time there will be some spoilers. If you have just started, read this at your own risk. This volume apparently had more fluff than the previous volumes combined, and I was blown away. However, I don't want to talk about the ending abruptly, so I'll start by the following flow of the story as usual. Firstly, let's start by talking about the cover itself, which is hand-holding on the bus. It has a different vibe from Volume 11, where it was the school festival that has them hand-holding in one's arm, whereas in Volume 12, the atmosphere looks free and alive. Probably they can be alone, where no one sees them as they hand-holding each other. The first funny thing that tickled me from the start is the first chapter where Yuta running a razor with a shaving cream all over his face in the bathroom. It had me thinking, you are still in high school, how do you grow statues, slang term for mustache? Saki's expressionless face was already shown in the prologue where she silently poking at the fish during dinner. This feeling was the same as the first volume where both families meet together for the first time. Apparently, it had resurfaced again, and it made Yuta worried, as if his care being a brother wasn't enough for her. Even the atmosphere when they had breakfast was quiet, as if Taichi and Saki hiding a dangerous secret that shouldn't be told to Yuta. The first chapter doesn't stop there though. The sudden comedy from Kozono to Saki and Yuta was wholesome. The way Yuta and Saki using Kozono as a bait and switch while exchanging ships were hilarious. It's like two senior workers bullying a junior who's just started after her training ended. The second chapter was about Yoshida and Makihara problem. Maru and Yuta walks home for the first time. Before that, Yoshida and Makihara having a conflict. To avoid this war looms and maybe breakup, he took this matter to Maru and Yuta, with Shinjo being thrown into the mix. Of course, things went solved quickly, but I won't deny, maybe doubt, the problem between the two will arise again in future volumes. Meanwhile, the concerning of Saki was revealed when Akiko tells Yuta of Saki's biological father, Fumiya Ito, is coming for a business visit. Due to the limited information from Akiko, knowing that she was his ex-husband before, she says if Yuta wants to know more, he should ask Saki directly. Chapter 3 has its romance problem solved, where Yoshida and Makihara revived their date at lunch thanks to the advice from both parties, which it seems maybe. Well then, Yuta was reluctant to leave the girls with Saki during lunch, so he joined them instead. I wonder why he don't just find Maru to talk with. Probably Maya already found him. In chapter 4, Saki stated his stance still remains the same. She refused to meet his biological father. The words from her of maybe we can only be together for 6 months or so indicate there is a separation that will happen once they have graduated. Needless to say, I won't be likely sure when, but I doubt that they will live together forever. Besides, people will need to have their own free space, right? And seemingly from that, they will know their time will come when they get graduated from school. Chapter 5 then opens with finally on their study retreat camp with Yuta to Atami. The plan was to delay the time of meeting with Ito in order to revise their studies, per the idea from Yuta. He knew because when Ito comes around and they abandon the studies, it will cause problems. As being said before, Saki is not the easy type who can handle pressure, especially with exams and family relationships. The wholesome moment that had me went into smiles is when Saki excitingly found a hot spring bath. Back then, hot spring baths wasn't racing in their idea, as they only had communal bath when they lived together. Now they were in Atami, and it was the dream of what they had always wanted for. The importance of understanding one's love is also featured in this chapter. Understanding one's person, emotions, and feelings is the main thing why this whole series and the volume itself has made me moved. Hence, the words I love you can be described in many ways, and that's how he and Saki are in love now. And who would ever knew that a study camp could turn into a romanceful holiday trip? I wouldn't believe it either. As I read through the sentence of how Saki asked Yuta to lean on his shoulder closer, I scream excitingly hard, lol. If this is the girl of your dreams doing this to you, your heart will be pounding hard, isn't it? Of course, a study camp wouldn't be completed without a sleepover. The way these two lovebirds trying to mingle at 1 a.m. had my heart pounding even. What's more wild, they sleep like real couples, just in their futons. The way Yuta drying Saki's long hair in chapter 6 showing a caring mood while preparing for the storm ahead. The view from the outside, followed by the step siblings moment, brings out the speciality of delightful romance while set it apart from all of the romance genre stories combined. The highlight of this volume is on how Saki confronts his biological father Fumiya Ito. It dives the deepest into Saki's personality so far. There were moments where she seemed to lose control or make big mistakes, making us wonder, who are you, in a good way, while her core personality remains the same in confronting a person like Fumiya. It felt like a throwback moment of episode 1 of the anime. Nevertheless, her struggle with showing her smile and vulnerability is always a weakness, which is why Yuta had to step up and be her confidence boost. Yuta's actions in this volume gave her confidence, helping her to face herself differently, thus gave her the courage to stand up to deal with her former father. Thinking back to Volume 5, Saki struggled with showing her side of a happy expression and to be open up to someone, but now she shows Yuta a natural smile. This transformation shows how happy she's been over the past year. It's not just in front of Yuta, she also accepts being called silly and cute by her friends. This change in Saki's attitude towards herself is significant. The plot summary aligns closely with the previous episode, focusing on Saki's concern related to a chip, hence this was merely from Yuta's POV. In Saki's diary from the epilogue, her mood shows from the first page started out quite angry, especially when she hears the word depends on me. From the second page, Saki was worried about Makihara on Yoshida and confused of Maya with her implying, don't you get it? But all in all, it was resolved, so nothing has happened between the two anymore. Of course, during their study camp to Atami, she didn't write anything because she and Yuta were having a fun time. Not just fun, but a naughty one at that. But of course, her truer side was shown when she finally faced father and ended the drama once and for all. And who would forget the famous lines of to give and be given, to share, which was used to as well in the anime version. But looking back though, the smile from volume 12 was more lively than ever compared to the anime on episode 12. This time, it was necessary to share Yuta and Saki's feelings with the readers. I'm curious to see what will happen next in the next volume on February. So this time, I have reviewed volume 12 of Gimai Seikatsu light novel. Overall, it is a thoughtful and engaging read that delves into the complexities of its characters with grace and sensitivity. The volume balances the character development with broader thematic elements, creating a rich and immersive story. As readers follow Saki and Yuta's journey, they are reminded of the self-importance of self-acceptance and the power of supportive relationship. What do you think of the volume so far? Comment your thoughts down below. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.